Hi guys, it's Emily from Novell Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my November TBR and it's big. I say it's big, I've got to add up all the books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Actually, no, it's not big. Actually, hang on a minute. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 15, 16, 17. It's only going to be 18 books, but it's big as in big books. So maybe that'll be the title. It'll be Big Books Month because I've got 1, 2, 3 books that are quite big. 4 if you count that one. But it feels big. It's really weird. It's only 18 books. Like sometimes I go to 19 books, but they feel big. Actually, it's like if you count my my classic one, which I've just remembered, I probably should put there. Then it actually is big, but I'm happy with these books. We've got no readathons other than non-fiction November, and I'm only reading one non-fiction book for definite. I will probably try and read like a foster care book or something else in November, but I've kind of got my non-fiction books set up for sort of, I like to try and spread them out over the course of the year. So for me, non-fiction has to be read over the whole course of the year rather than just solidly in a month. I've got a few fantasies. I've got my Agatha book. I've got some spooky books. I'm still keeping with the spooky book theme because for me, the start of November is more spooky book. As we get to the end, you might hear in my November wrap up part 1, I might start including Christmas books. In fact, knowing me, I will definitely start including Christmas books because for me, Christmas starts like end of November. Although I did read one in. But yeah, I don't want to get the kids too excited about Christmas month. But technically it's the last month of autumn. For me, it really is. For me, November is the month where it's autumn close to like winter. It's definitely the winter feels. For me personally, like I've got to get my medication set up for the winter. So I've got to get my Raynaud's meds up. I've got to make sure I've got everything prepared so that I'm wrapped up and keeping warm in November. But I realise I do not want to ramble. I will say that if I haven't announced it yet, I've announced it on my community post, but we are having my first live for the Agatha Along on the 2nd of November. And that I'm doing with Michelle Lynn from Michelle Lynn Reads. And we're having a live at 7 PM UK time. I don't know how it works out on foreign times. I'm useless at that. So I have got that. That'll be talking about the first 2 books in the Agatha Along. Obviously, I'll be showing you the 3rd book, which is probably the one that I'm actually most excited about. But let's stop talking and let's show you the books. Technically, I have 3 buddy reads, and I'm super, super excited. As always, I would have one particular person that I buddy read with a lot, but I'll show you her books in a minute. The first buddy read is my first it's my second buddy read with, and that's with Chatty from The Mad Chatter, and we are reading Sleep Like Death by Kaylin Byron. It is, Kaylin Byron is one of my absolute all-time favourite fantasy authors. This is like a Disney retelling with a bit of sapphic romance. It's Princess Eve. It was raised with one purpose: to destroy the night, the evil sorcerer who terrorises Queen Bridge and with his evil magic. Far too many of his subjects have been devastated by the knight's trickery. But Eve's own unique magic, the ability to conjure weapons from nature, makes her a worthy adversary. As she approaches her 17th birthday, Eve is ready to battle, but her mother, Queen Regina, has been acting bizarrely, talking to a strange mirror alone every night. Then a young man claims to be the knight's messenger appears and shares a shocking truth about Eve's past. It looks really good fun. I can't wait to read this. Don't know when we're going to read it yet. I need to plan it. But that's my fantasy kind of book. I'm going to try and sort of separate the genre out. Then I've got a cosy romance book that is my first buddy read with Cat from Brews and Reviews. We'll obviously be reading this right at the start of the month because it's near Pumpkin bit. And this is the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I know there's the Cinnamon Bun Book Club, which is the next book, which I will probably be getting, and I'll make Cat read with me. But we've heard so many things about this. A lot of people have read this book and loved it. It's a real cosy romance. It's the start of a series. And it's sort of the start of a series of books, I think. And I think they're all connected. So I believe you have been told you do need to read them in order. When Genies Aren't, this is not a book that I would imagine with Cat, but Cat really wanted to read it, so it's like, we've got to read it together. Pumpkin Spice Cafe, hey? Pumpkin Spice Cafe sounds really cool. When Jeannie's aunt gives her the beloved pumpkin spice cafe in the small town of Dream Harbour, Jeannie jumps at the chance for a fresh start away from her very dull desk job. Logan is a local farmer who avoids Dream Harbour's gossip at all costs. When Jeannie's arrival disrupts Logan's routine, and he wants nothing to do with irritatingly upbeat new girl, except that he finds himself inexplicably drawn to her. Will Jeannie's happy-go-lucky attitude win over the grumpy but the gorgeous Logan, or has the city girl found one person in town who won't fall for a charm, or her pumpkin spice lattes? I don't like pumpkin spice lattes. I like the nut lattes and things like that. I like the other gingerbread lattes. Oh God, I fancy one of those actually. What's your favourite latte? Actually, that might kind of put that there actually, because then I've just got an idea for my thumbnail. Not that I'm telling you yet. I can't tell you yet. Right, the next body read with Kat is The Burning Maze by the Trials of Apollo, and it's The Burning Maze. It's the third in the Trials of Apollo series. I don't want to say too much, but I believe he's going on a mission. Apparently he's got to do some trials and he must journey through the labyrinth to free the Oracle, who only speaks in puzzles, and defeat the third vicious, bloodthirsty Roman Empire. I wonder which great people he's going to be travelling with in this one, because it's really interesting to see the people he goes with. So, third in the series, Rick Riordan's always a good one. I don't quite love this series as much as I loved the one before, but it is bloody good. Then actually, let's talk. Normally I do this in old order. I've got Thomas some point me off poorly today, so my brain is not in gear. Let's find out what the TBR jar is going to pick. I've only got 3 books left in the TBR jar. Actually, I'm going to let Thomas pick. He's off screen, so I don't have to break rules. Go pick a piece of paper. Pick one of these pieces of paper. He's picked. So let's see what Thomas has picked for me. I hope he's picked nice, although all 3 of them are nice. Yay! I love my son. He's picked The Book Lovers by Emily Henry. It is a book that I've been really excited about. It means the last 2 books are either going to be The Cozy Cat Society or a fantasy. But this is a contemporary. I did not pick enough contemporaries on my October TBR, so I've had to get them straight off my shelves. This is Book Lovers. It is a summer book, which is going to be read in the winter, which is quite weird. One summer, 2 rivals, a plot twist they didn't see coming. It's one of Emily Henry's older books. I've read I think most of her books actually. But this is Nora is a cutthroat literary agent at the top of her game. Her whole life is books. Charlie is an editor with a gift for creating bestsellers, and he's Nora's work nemesis. Nora has been through enough breakups to know that she's only one men date. She's the only one men date before finding their happily ever after. So to prevent another dating dud, Nora's sister persuades her to swap a city desk for a month's break in Sunshine Falls. Let's wait and see what that's like. Putting that under there so I remember that's my TBR jar. Hopefully, it's a summer book, slightly different, but it's got the word book lover in the title. I think Thomas has done well. If he hasn't, he'll know about it. So, my big book to read, and this is what I think about, this is what I mean when I say big book. I've got like 3 or 4 big books actually. And that is The Distant Hours by Kate Morton. Look how big this is. I love Kate Morton's books. It's one of the only ones of hers I've not read. Although it looks big, it's actually technically less than 700 pages. It's 673 pages. It's historical fiction, which you know is my jam. It's probably got different timelines. It started with a letter. Edie Birchwell and her mother have never been close, but when a long-lost letter arrives one Sunday afternoon with a return address of Middleton Castle, Kent, printed on an envelope, Edie begins to suspect that her mother's emotional distance masks an old secret. Ooh. Evacuated from London as a 13-year-old girl, Edie's mother was chosen by the mysterious Juniper Blythe and taken to live in the Middleton Castle with the Blythe family. 50 years later, Edie is drawn too to the castle, and the eccentric sisters Blythe, old ladies now, the 3 still live together, with the twins nursing Juniper, who abandonment by her fiancé in 1941 plunged her into madness. Inside the decaying castle, Edie begins to unravel her mother's past. Spooky, but looks really good, but it is big. Now to my seasonal books. The first one is a book that I think Kat got me. Yeah, this is one of the ones that Kat got me for my birthday. And it's a witchy book. So I told you, got to do witchy books. Currently when I'm filming, so I'm reading a witchy book. It's Hex Appeal by Kate Johnston. Things are about to get hexy. Essie Winterscale lives in a huge and ever-changing house in the village good village of Goodwinter in the deepest, darkest Essex. She lives with the various witches of various ages, including one who's still a bit salty about being hanged in the 18th century. The one who keeps accidentally casting fertility spells, and one who knits things that create the future. Into this coven of chaos stumbles gorgeous, clueless Josh, their new landlord, who has just discovered that his tenants haven't paid rent since the 1700s. As Josh is drawn further into the lives of the inhabitants of Bedlam House, Essie is determined to keep him at broomstick's length. That is until a family secret lying hidden for centuries puts Josh is firmly under her spell. That looks well cool. Well excited. Thanks, Kat. Love you. Right, so that is fantasy. That's fantasy. So the first technical, like the contemporary Hazel Pryor's book, Ellie and the Heartmaker. I read this. Has got like older protagonists, which I love. I did read about one of her winter books. I can't even remember what it's called. I read one of her books and I loved it, and I can't even remember what the hell it's called because my brain has fried today. But I think it's like Away with the Penguins. And this is a beautiful love song about wonderfully told about a warm heart and much hope. And then you've got Ellie, who is happy in her quiet life with her husband Clive, and then meet Dan, who thinks he's got everything. It's set in Exmoor. I did talk about this in the seasonal read, so actually I'm not going to make this video too long. So the next three that I've got my seasonal books, I will tell you. Actually, just realised Hex Appeal's in my seasonal reads. I've not thought straight sensible, have I? This one really is a cosy romance. I think it's a romance, but it's sort of set in Exmoor. Two older protagonists who sort of meet, and there just is a chance encounter going to be everything. Looking forward to it. Sorry, my brain is fried. Then we've got historical fiction by Mandy Rowbotham, The Hidden Storyteller. We do like her books, although I know they're going to be very hard-hitting. They're set in Hamburg in 1946. The war is over and Germany is in ruins. Posted to the Allied-run Hamburg, reporter Georgie Young returns to the country she fled 7 years prior at the onset of the conflict to find it unrecognisable. Amongst the stark horrors of the bombed-out city, and it's crumbling under weight. I'm just going to have to pause this video and I'll reply in a minute. I'm back. So this is set in the wartime. This might have to be a video that I'm putting together. Thank God for the app doodle that I've got. Right. So this is sort of set in amongst the stark horrors of bombed-out city, crumbling under the weight of millions of displaced souls. She discovers pockets of warmth, a violinist playing amongst the wreckage, couples dancing in the street, and a nation trying to make amends. Joining forces with a local detective, Harry Schroeder is trying to catch a killer targeting women on the city streets, and curiosity draws Georgie deep into the dark underbelly, and she still discovers that some secrets of war did not die with Hitler. Ooh, spooky. Then to my classic to reread, which I should have shown you at the start, and that is North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. We all know about this. I loved Elizabeth Gaskell's work. This is my other big book because it is... It's over 500 pages. I thought it felt bigger. It's like 520. So this might not be read over the course of the month because I find with classics I need to read them not fast, but I might try and read it over the course of a couple of weeks because I need to really ingest it. But I love North and South. It's probably my favourite book by Elizabeth Gaskell. It is very sort of, what's the best word to describe it? It's got a lot of death. If you like someone, they're going to die in it. I remember that. I remember lots of death. I remember it's about the North-South divide, industrialisation. It's Gaskell's finest work. It's about Margaret Hale and John Thornton. Romance but not romance. It's just a bloody good book and I absolutely loved it when I reread it. And I'm still going to keep fiddling with my camera. Then to my Agatha book, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. And this is Agatha Christie's Poirot. I know Jem from Gem of Books absolutely loved it and rated it really highly. I think Alice did really enjoy it as well. I don't quite know where it sits. It's actually one of her first Poirot books. So it's actually under... I need to look for The Murder on the Links, apparently. I'm trying to read... I can't read them in order, but I know that Alice loved this. I know that Jem's just read it and loved it. I know that a lot of people have really enjoyed this. And it's about, obviously, the murder of Roger Ackroyd. And it's about the key is in the lock all night. All right, sir. On the inside, Mr. Ackroyd must have locked himself in. Poor Roger Ackroyd. He knew that the woman he had loved had been harbouring a guilty secret. She poisoned her first husband, and yesterday she killed herself. but guilty secrets rarely stay secret. Who had been blackmailing her before her death, and had it really driven her to suicide? Would it all be revealed in the letter that arrived in the post? Sadly, Roger Ackroyd wasn't going to live long enough to find out. Well excited. Then to a fun, absolutely fun Bridgerton historical fiction. It's Regency. I really enjoyed Hyacinth's book, and I didn't expect to. And this is Gregory's book. So this is the last official, like, proper story, and then I've got the short story bits that interlinks it that I'm going to be reading in December. Unlike most of his acquaintances, Gregory Bridgerton is a firm believer in love. Okay. He has all the reason to be. All 7 of his siblings are happily married, and Gregory's the last one, basically. But so when he sees Hermione Wilson, he knows with every fibre of her being that she is meant to be his. But through Hermione's closest and slightly less beautiful friend, Lucy Abernethy, he soon finds out Hermione is desperately in love with another man. Sadly, by the time Gregory figures out that the right girl is actually the wrong girl, and the right girl was Lucy all along, it's too late. Lucy is to marry another. Oh, this looks so much fun. Can't wait to read this. Then to my other Mahusive book, The Skeleton Key by Erin Kelly. This is a bit of a dark sort of fantasy kind of. I'm not sure if it's a bit too like academic thing. Oh, I don't even know the words. I can't even think today, but I'm hoping I like this. It's one book. 50 years ago, Frank Churchill wrote the book that would make his family's fortune and ruin their lives. The Golden Bones was written as a fairy tale and a treasure map, but it's quickly turned into a dark, dangerous obsession with occult readers and desperate to find out one piece in the puzzle. One family divided, the Churches are torn apart by the fame that it's brought them, and after a terrifying attack, Frank's daughter Nell becomes a recluse. One deadly reunion. As the family reunite to mark the anniversary of the publication, Frank has one last surprise in store. Let's hope this is good. But this is it's about 500 pages, so it looks big, but it isn't Mahusive, so it feels big. I don't know why. Then we've got a middle grade historical fiction. This is When the War Came Home by Leslie Parr. Obviously, we have Armistice Day in November, and I'm going to be reading a couple of wartime books. This is about the First World War, and this is where we all get our poppies from. And I'm trying to teach the kids about it as well. Kids, Mia knows about it. But the First World War hasn't ended, but it hasn't gone away. When Natty has to move to a new village, she meets 2 young soldiers who are still battling the effects of the war. Hugh can't forget the terrible things he's seen, but Johnny doesn't even remember who he is. I believe this has disability rep as well as historical fiction. It's middle grade, so it isn't long, but it looks like to me like a great book. It's historical fiction, but I think it's done in a middle grade way, so it should be a bit more gentle on me. Then I've got my non-fiction book, which is The Suspicion of Mr. Witcher. And it is about Mr. Witcher, and this is Victorian, so it could have kind of counted for Victober. It is midnight on the 30th of June 1860, and it's all quiet in the Kent family's elegant home in Road, Wiltshire. The next morning, however, they woke up to find their youngest son has been a victim of an unimaginably gruesome murder. Even worse, the guilty party is surely one of their number. The house was bolted from the inside, and as Jack Witcher, the most celebrated detective of the day, arrives at Road to track down the killer, the murder provokes national hysteria at the thought about what might be festering behind the closed doors. So this is not very long, but it's notes and everything. It's got very small type print, so I'm hoping I'm all right on it. About 300 pages, so let's believe it's non-fiction. Why did I try and separate out all of these doing things? I actually have less contemporaries than I thought I had. I'm looking at this going. Then I've got my thriller for the month, which is Never Never, and that's by Colleen Hoover and Taryn Fisher. It's a thriller, but I'm hoping it's like a mystery thriller. And never stop, never forget, just remember. And I think I've read one of Colleen Hoover's thrillers and not found it too bad, so I'm hoping I can cope with this. Charlie Winwood and Silas Nash have been best friends since they could walk. They've been in love since the age of 14, but as of this morning, they're complete strangers. Their first kiss, the first fight, the moment they first fell in love, every memory has vanished. Now Charlie and Silas must work together to uncover the truth about what happened to them and why. Hoping I like this. Give it a go. Then I've got my next 2 contemporaries actually. We've got We Are All Made of Stars by Rowan Coleman, which I believe is one of her earlier books, I think. It's got the word stars in it. It's got the word, it's romance, it's Rowan Coleman. What an utterly life-affirming book. So it's Stella Carey exists in the world of night. Married to an ex-soldier, she leaves the house every evening as Vincent locks himself away with the scars and secrets he carries. So again, it's got disability properly. During her nursing shift, Stella writes letters for her patients to their loved ones. Some full of love, humour, love and practical advice. Others are steeped in regret and promises to post these messages after their deaths. Until one night, Stella writes the letter that could give one patient the one last chance of redemption if she delivers it in time. I really hope I like that. Then to a book that came out this year, and I've decided that I'm going to start reading them a bit quicker than waiting forever. The point will be in a minute. So this is Someone Else's Shoes by Jojo Moyes. I've liked a lot of Jojo Moyes books. It's pink, it's cute, you know I like reading pink. Meet Sam, meet Nisha, two women living very different lives. So when their paths cross, they're causing each a world of trouble. Finding some missing shoes it's the only way of solving it, and they're left with every choice every woman faces: to walk alone or stand together. It's like a reverse Cinderella storyline. I think that sounds amazing. I do like Jojo Moyes books. It does look really good. So actually I've only got like 3 contemporary. No, I've only got 4 contemporary. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 historical fiction, because the last historical fiction book is the last one. And then I've got 3 fantasy. If you kind of add up the 3 fantasies, that's kind of equal. So I read fantasy in the evenings as well, so I've kind of nearly even. The last book to show you is The Paris Affair by Anton Dubec. I got this for Christmas last year by Kat from Brews and Reviews, and she got it for me for Christmas, and it's already out in paperback, and I've got to start reading books before they come out in paperback. It's part of the Doodah series, the Buckingham House series. It's set. Why can I not remember the series name? It's a wartime book, and my brain is literally a mess today. In the darkest depths of wars, a stranger will change everything. So it's dual timeline. One part of it set in Paris 1926. The young dancer Ray Cohen arrives. It is the Ballroom series, and it's got the Ballroom Blitz, and it's got lots of other books like that. And why can I not remember the name of the series? And it's set. Ray Cohen arrives from London to complete the exhibition in Paris. He's led astray by Hugo, a charismatic performer born on the streets, who introduces him to the city's nightlife and a dazzling stranger called Hannah Lynn. And we've got the current timeline for them, and that is London, 1941. And the heroic Raymond de Guise is away fighting in North Africa, and his beloved wife Nancy must balance her position as head of housekeeping at Buckingham Hotel, as well as being a mother to their child. As war rages on, the charismatic stranger from Raymond's past arrives at Nancy's doorstep, asking for work at the Buckingham Hotel. This does look really good, and I'm really looking forward to it. I have got some big books, actually. This book is about 500 pages, so I've got quite a few that are about 500 pages and more, and I've gone for it, haven't I? Sorry about that. Joy's being a mum. Okay, so I am really, really excited about these books. Which ones are you excited about? If you did get to the end of this video, leave a coffee cup emoji or like a hot drink emoji. He's gonna have a hot drink. I'm gonna have one too. So leave a coffee cup emoji or like hot drink emoji. We all need hot drinks in this weather. What of these books do you think I should prioritise? Which ones are you excited about? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, not subscribed, ring on my ding-a-ling, and I'll see you all soon. Bye bye.